understand a sale of home contingency, right? So if the only way you get financing is if you sell the house you're currently in, so maybe you have to sell your home to buy another one.
Hey folks, Cameron Stewart here with eXp Realty out of Rome, New York, serving all of your residential real estate needs here in the Mohawk Valley. I'm joined today again by Colin LaReaux from Goldbas LaReaux Attorneys at Law in downtown Utica. How are we doing today, Colin?
Doing very well, Cameron. How are you?
I am hanging in there. Thanks so much for joining me. Folks, today we're going to be going over some buyer tips, okay? I always like to make sure that my clients understand how they can set themselves up for success beforehand, be proactive, okay? So we're actually going to talk to Colin, a real estate attorney right here in the Mohawk Valley, and he's going to give you his opinion on the 5 things you should do as a buyer if you're preparing to buy a home. The 5 things you should do to kind of get prepared for that process. It's best to hear directly from the source, someone who's doing this, who's on the ground closing deals every day here in the Utica, Rome area. So Colin, I'll turn it right over to you. 5 tips for a buyer from the closing perspective, from the attorney's perspective.
Sure. Number 1, pre-approval, right? If you're unless you have cash on hand in the bank or under your mattress to buy the property you want to buy, you got to get financing, right? You want a pre-approval letter from a lender that says we've done an initial check and this buyer, this person has the ability to get financing from us. So generally someone might call you, Cameron, and they say, hey, I want to see this $400,000 property. You're going to say, great, I'll meet you out there. How about tomorrow afternoon? Send me your pre-approval, because you don't want to waste your time or the seller's time or anyone's time if this person is never going to be capable of obtaining financing. So that's number 1, pre-approval. 2, find a good agent, right? Cameron Stewart's, he's available. Zillow's great, Truly is great, Realtor.com, they're great. People do this for a living. Cameron does this for a living. Agents do this for a living.
And I answer my phone, folks. So
he does.
I'll give you, here you go, 315-351-2765. If I don't answer right away and I don't call you back within a few hours, I'll buy you lunch.
Exactly. And especially as from a buyer's perspective, you're not paying the agent, right? That's the seller does when they sell. So you get someone who's working for you for free to help you find the property you want. And they may have some insight that you didn't know, right? Maybe they have things you didn't know you needed, but you do, or they're going to say why you don't want the things you think you want, right? So get an agent. That's number 2. 3, maybe understand a sale of home contingency, right? So if the only way you get financing is if you sell the house you're currently in, so maybe you have to sell your home to buy another one, that's sometimes harder to get your offer accepted because the seller of your potential new house says, I don't know if I want to wait for this individual to sell their house. They're asking way too much, or it's not in a great location. So it may be a little bit harder for you to get your offer accepted. Not to say it doesn't happen. It happens all the time, but understand how that can slow things down and may not be the most attractive offer. So,
and we can do things to we can do things to prepare for that, folks. Perfect, Colin, good stuff. We can do things to prepare for this, and this is why we're talking about this. Because if you have a home sale contingency, there's a way to go about it ahead of time to make sure that you're locked and loaded and ready to go.
Absolutely. Understand that a contract must be written here in New York State for a real estate purchase. You know, maybe if you're buying it from your grandma, it's not going to be the biggest deal. But if you go out to see a house with an agent or by yourself and you love it and you say, I'm going to offer you $100,000 to buy it, and the guy says, great, and shakes your hand, and you drive home, somebody else can come in right after you, say, I'll give you 105. They sign the contract. They are the ones in contract, right? Your verbal agreements are great, and in a perfect world, they work. But the law says we need something written because this is a big deal. This is a real estate purchase. Get it signed, right? So don't trust everyone. You know, we want to trust people, but get your contract signed, right? You put in a signed purchase offer. Hopefully it gets signed by the seller, and then you're off to the races. 5, be patient, right? This is a crazy market we're in. People are eager to buy. People are eager to sell. Even after contract, there's a lot of things that have to happen, right? Your agent's still working on things. Your attorney me or someone else, seller's attorney, buyer's attorney, they're clearing title. They're making sure there's no issues. Nobody else is owning the property. There's no taxes that are owed. There's no liens. These things take time, right? You have to keep your finances in order. There's a long process. You know, when you hear people say I can close in 30 days, that's the odd occasion. I would say you're looking for at least probably 60 days on an average, if not more, after you sign that contract. So keep that in mind. Be patient, be diligent, get a good agent, keep your financing in order. And, you know, that's, you know, really the best tips I can give at this point anyway, in terms of buying a home.
Well, that was great, Colin. And folks, I'm just going to do a quick recap. 5 buyer tips from a real estate attorney's perspective here in the Mohawk Valley. Get pre-approved, find a good agent, understand your home sale contingency if you need it. Offers must be written to be accepted here in New York State, and be patient. Okay, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of people involved in closing your loan, from the agent's perspective, the attorney's perspective, the lender's perspective. Probably numerous amounts of underwriters in there for the loan. So Colin, great stuff. Once again, 5 tips for a buyer if you're ready to buy a home in the Mohawk Valley. Colin, how do people get a hold of you if they need to?
Sure. Goldbas and LaReaux Attorneys at Law. We're at 185 Genesee Street in downtown Utica, the Adirondack Bank building. By email, it's Colin, Colin, at goldbaslaw, Goldbas law.com. And our phone number, 315-724-2248. We hope to hear from you. If you need me and you can't find me, you can find Cameron. And if you need Cameron and you can't find him, reach out to me and we'll put you in touch.
Awesome. And folks, my number is 315-351-2765. That's my direct cell. Call or text anytime. Colin, I appreciate you joining me today. And folks, we hope to talk to you soon.
My pleasure, Cameron. Thanks again.